dancing. We love it. From a celebrity in a leotard to an ordinary bloke making an extraordinary pillock of himself, we all reckon we've got a bit of rhythm. But while we'd all love to strut like John Travolta, most of us make David Brent look like the Bolshoi Ballet. Sometimes it really is murder on the dance floor. Over the next hour, we'll see the dance routines that had us all howling.
It's actually quite funny watching Anton with effectively a sort of female rope around his neck.
We'll look at the dance crazes that time forgot.
Ridiculous name, ridiculous dance, and ridiculous music.
And those moves some brave souls wish would foxtrot off their CVs.
I think that was a complete dance disaster.
We'll see people lose their cool.
My heart was in the right place, even if my feet weren't.
Their dignity.
They were up, they were down, they were up, they were down. I should die.
And maybe even a few teeth.
It was one of the most hilarious dance moments I've ever seen.
So slip on some hot pants, buff up your jazz pumps, and brace yourself for some best ever worst dance moments.
Now, if you're wondering what on earth I'm doing with this crazy 1950s ponytail, the answer is I'm getting in the mood to join in with the latest dance craze, disco fever.
Sorry, love, that ponytail's rubbish. But not half as rubbish as the first dance craze we got for you, from the heady days of the 1970s. In 1978, a new movie hit British cinemas, causing a horrific outbreak of Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever and John Travolta was the start of a disco era that's almost never ever stopped. Suddenly, everyone realised they could dance.
All of a sudden, it was cool. It wasn't only cool, but it was dead sexy to be able to be a dancer on a dance floor.
Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta out there strutting his stuff, that's exciting, and it's certainly where I got a lot of my inspiration as a child.
Certainly with that soundtrack, supplied by the Bee Gees, people can't help but get up and boogie to it.
The whole planet was consumed by the disco epidemic. Symptoms included an alarming widening of the trouser, a severe loss of self-respect, and a crap white suit.
With some of the moves that were sort of iconic from that film, everybody could do it, even if they couldn't do it well.
I used to love them days. I used to go out just like John Travolta all the time, slick back hair, busted moves all over the place. And finger pointing is always good.
And they all do this. Well, what is that? It's not dancing. Staying alive. I call it staying awake.
But disco wasn't just about polyester slacks and pointing. It was a deadly serious competition sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World Disco Dance Championship. From the 5 continents of the disco crazy world, 36 of the world's greatest disco dancers, for what must undoubtedly be the greatest dance contest ever held.
Yes, in the late 70s, the Disco Dance Championships were beamed live into our living rooms. It was like Britain's Got Talent without the dancing dog, or Simon Cowell. Rubbish, in other words.
There were millions of people tuned in to these shows. People used to just go on the dance floor. They were not trained. They were just doing their own thing. It was pure energy.
Yes, it was total freestyle. You could strut around and grab your family jewels, or pull yourself up on an invisible rope.
Disco at its worst is when you look like you're wrapped in silver foil, like a chicken, and you look demented. It's like somebody wound you up and you can't stop.
I think the most grotesque thing is the permanent smile. I'm discoing. And it's awful.
The moves were bad, but the clothes were worse. Worse than you could have ever imagined. Catsuits, tinfoil capes, unitards, dark times.
You've got 3 basic looks for your disco dancing. The illegally tight trouser and open shirt combo. The tracksuit, implying that you've taken a more gymnastic approach to things. Or ripped fabric and togas
but the fabric that's ripped is neon and spandex and sequins.
Glitter is a prerequisite as well, and that's just the boys. But whatever happened to those disco dancing champions, you cry? We tracked a few of them down to see if they can remember those outrageous moves. Careful, love, don't kick yourself in the head.
In the early 80s, my life was disco, and if you were good at disco dancing, you were a star. I mean, I look back now, I actually say to my mother, how could you have let me out in the street like that? I looked like a spaceman, but at the time, everybody thought you were fantastic.
I can't dance. It wasn't dancing, it was moving to the music. I mean, it's a nice thump, you'd stop. The 81 UK finals, I remember one of the chaps saying to me there's 22 million viewers, which was only surpassed by Lady Diana Spencer's wedding that year. Best times of my life, to be honest. Absolutely magical. I mean, I look back now, and it's a laugh. You know, you think, oh, I didn't used to do that, did I? But at the time, it was just fun.
And last but not least, here's one disco dancer who really knew how to make an entrance.
The entrance had to be big. So on I came. I knew what I was going to do, but as I did it, my heel caught the back of the stage, and the rest is history, and I fell on my backside.
And in that one moment, he goes from, look at me, to, I wish I wasn't here.
I'm glad 30 years later people are laughing at it, because it is quite funny.